Well, hello, everybody. This is Reality is where words do come to life. And as promised, I'm doing day 2 of the evidence as it relates to the sabotage of Frederick Collins, who was a candidate for the mayor of Chicago. And sad that we have to take these kind of efforts or these steps to find some type of what can we call it, resolution to the trickery that Rodney Stewart and the Board of Election did to Frederick Collins. We, as citizens, to be governed by the laws and constitutional rights. And as I've said many times before, we expect everybody else to follow the laws. So we expect those institutions um, to put the laws into place to follow them as well. What makes the Board of Election and Rodney Stewart any different than anybody else following the laws? These are rules and regulations that the Board of Elections made themselves. So how can you disregard rules and regulations that your institution set up to be followed? And when you divert from following these rules that you set up, that is, in a sense, discrimination. And people think discrimination is all about color. No, discrimination about gender, discrimination about status, and discrimination is a form of being used in this situation to get what they wanted to make sure that Frederick Collins was not on the ballot. And most people would go to jail for the things that was done to Frederick Collins. That is manipulation of the process. That is manipulation of the system. And since then, the Board of Election has since adopted some new rules. But we'll begin into that later. And in the new rules, they're not requiring the objector to come into the Board of Elections and show proof that they actually did their due diligence in searching the information that was accusing somebody. I find it very strange. I find it very strange that in the court of law, you are required to prove somebody's innocence or guilt. But in this situation, you want to change the rule so if somebody accuse you of something, they can accuse you without being factual in their accusations. How does that work? How does that work? And then the question becomes, why are you changing the rules? Who are they to benefit next? And what kind of mess are you all about to create by changing these rules? Is it to keep the control? Is it to justify your wrong and your rights? What is the purpose? See, you all like to lock us up and throw away the key for the little small things that we do, but you want to slap on the hand for the things that you all do. If you're going to set some into place, then I'm thinking, and it should be, stay in place. How do you divert from your rules that you all set up and ignore every ounce of evidence that you did not pay attention to? So I'm going to make myself a little small. I'm going to talk about some things. So I say day 2 of evidence, no FOIA file. And pretty much what that is, whoever is stating that the person petitions that has been presented to the Board of Elections is not legitimate, right? But at the same time, you need to prove and you need to have validated evidence that what you're saying is true. Because when you are accusing somebody of something, you haven't seen no evidence and it's not true, that is a lie. That is a lie, that is perjury, that is falsifying um, information, that's misrepresentation, all of the above, which are criminal offenses. That's what they are. Now, if you look at this email, and maybe you can blow it up however you do it. I'm going to put it a little closer to the camera because I do have the paperwork with me. Um, I'm going to, my day two of evidence, I'm going to bring it closer to the camera so you all can see. Um, that's what I'm going to do. Bring close to the camera, okay? So you can really see. Because I want you all to understand, even though it's on the screen. This is from the Board of Elections on Wednesday, December 21st, 2022 at 4:18 p.m. Electoral Board. It says subject FOIA. Joanne Agnew, FOIA officer at Chicago Elections, sent it to Mr. Collins on the 19th. Mr. Collins, the board has conducted a search of his viewing area visitor log, and there are no documents in his possession in response to your request for to see if Andre Holland signed in to use computers to look up voters' signatures from the 30th of August to the 6th of December. I want you to see this. I want you to see this. I want you all to see this. So, this is the first dumbass move that they did, and they disregarded rules that the Board of Elections themselves set up. So if you set up these rules for people to follow, how do you divert from the rules you instituted? How do you make, how do you justify ignoring that major piece of information? How do you then do that? And who were the individuals who was on the back end hidden that benefited from this setup from day one? Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. When people are desperate, they will use their power to the fullest maximum ability to get what they need to have done. And I'll go back again. I said this in other videos. We're standing on the outside looking in. And the people that are in office that took an oath of office to be honest, to be true, and to be fair, right? Have negated the honesty, the truth, and they definitely negated being fair. When you all set up intentionally disregarding your rules as it relates to a FOIA that you have to sign in, and you disregard that at the beginning of the hearing when Mr. Stewart became the objector instead of the hearing officer, when the Board of Elections on Rule 20 disregard allowing evidence to be presented, when they disregarded affidavits being signed, there is something wrong with this government. You all are a bunch of hypocrite and liars. And I'm sure you sit at home and you teach your children not to lie. I'm sure you teach your children to tell the truth and be honest. Well, how can they be honest and tell the truth when they live with parents who lie and trick and manipulate and deceive intentionally? How can you justify that? How can we as registered voters trust the Chicago Board of Elections? We cannot. You've proven that. Right here, you've proven that when you disregard Mr. Collins, his civil rights and his due process, when you denied and you ignored that Andre Holland did not take the time to come downtown to 69 West Washington and go on the floor and sign in to look at the petitions that was presented. Then do that. Matter of fact, I don't even believe Mr. Holland was down there. He may have been there, but I believe it was a couple of people who actually was in line. But we're going to get into all that down the line. We're going to break this thing all the way down to the kneel to the nine. And some of you are saying, well, he's not in the list of running for mayor anymore. I don't give a damn. I don't care whether he's in the list or not. The problem is we spend all our time sweeping things up under the rug, and I am tired of sweeping things under the rug. Now we need to pull the shades, pull the curtains, and open the doors. Because Mr. Collins, I guarantee you, if you start digging, he's not the only one that's been done this way by the Chicago Board of Elections. We have all these political people that sit in office and you all use your power for wrong. Bottom line, you use your power for wrong. You use it for wrong. And then you justify it, but you want to ding the person who snatch a purse, carjack a car, or even robbery or attempted murder. You want to drag them through the mud. But your mess is no better than their mess. It's all messy when it comes down to it. The only difference is you dressed up to commit your crime. You dressed up and you justify it with your authority, with the position that you hold. That's what you do. You dress that up. You put the icing on the cake and you think you're making it look good, but it's not looking good. And I don't understand some of y'all. Some of y'all claim like y'all Christians and God is not pleased. I'm here to tell you, he ain't pleased because a liar shall not tarry. I'm telling you, they will not. And the holes that that you have dug for Mr. Collins, and the hole that you have dug for many others, be careful, or sooner or later, all y'all gonna fall in. You know, y'all get brought up on charge for embezzlement and manipulating documents. May not be today, but later on down the line, all y'all go up on charges because you did not honor your oath of office. You denied. I don't know why y'all put your hands on the Bible when you know you're intentionally lying. That's what you're doing. And so what you're saying in this situation, that if a young person is looking and they feel like they can make a difference in the office, what you're saying to that young person, don't try it. Don't think about it because we are in control. We manipulate the process and we will determine whether you are worthy, you're good enough to run for office. And I say, y'all don't have that right. It is not your call. It's like me coming in your house, telling your wife to move over, telling your husband to move over, and I'm gonna raise your kids. How would you like that? See, y'all like doing the crooked, crazy stuff, but you don't like it done to you at all. And you don't think about that. You don't think about it. Mr. Stewart sat back there with his legs crossed in the chair and ran back in the chair, like, yeah, we gonna get you. We may not get you today, we may not get you at the next hearing, but at the end, we gonna get you. And the people that I blame is Tony Pretwinkle, and I'll say it again. It's Tony Pretwinkle. Rodney Stewart has been on a couple of her court cases. So there's ties right there. There's ties right there. Brandon Johnson is running to be the mayor of Chicago. I've said this again. The pieces to the puzzle fit. May not be all the pieces, but they do fit. There may be other culprits behind this, but the pieces of the puzzle fit. When people feel like they can gain control by any means necessary, they will do what they need to do. Smile in people's face, and they cutting folks up right and left and stabbing them clean in the back. But they wouldn't want to be done that way themselves. See, when Tony Perkins was running for office, she had to fight for her stuff. It's all a game to y'all. It's all a game. It ain't about what's best for the people. None of this is about what's best for the people. None of it. And none of y'all are running on the strength of what is best for the people. You know what this is about? You ready for me to tell you? This is about power and control. That's what it's about. Y'all a bunch of hypocrites, liars, and thieves. That's what you are. That's what you are. And I don't know how you all look yourself in the mirror knowing fully well what you did in sabotaging Frederick Collins' chance as being in the lineup to run for mayor. Now, no, it's a setup because the only person that got booted off was Frederick Collins, except for Johnny Lagabo. But I understand he made some mistake on his paperwork. But Frederick Collins did everything from A to Z according to the Board of Election. He followed your rules, but you didn't follow your own rules. You didn't allow him to present no evidence. You didn't allow Andre Hollins to be summoned. Um, and Rodney Stewart said, what he needs to be here for? Well, hell, if you're going to accuse me of some shit, then you need to come and show me in person how you come to conclusion that what I'm saying is not true, or what I've done is not true, or what I presented is falsified documents. You can't accuse me blindly and then don't show up and you can't prove it. Your lawyer ain't that great and he ain't that good. Every court case has to have two sides, and every side is allowed to present evidence. And then the jury makes the conclusion, which was supposed to be the Board of Elections. But we see that the Board of Election was bought and paid for too. And this was sabotage intention. Now I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because I was at the meeting when Frederick Collins went downtown to speak to everybody in the union. And a lot of information that the union asked questions about, most of the candidates had no idea, none. And after that meeting was over with, me and Mr. Collins had conversation. And the person that I saw leaving out that building, like he had a firecracker up his butt and it was about to pop, was Brandon Johnson. And I knew then something was going to be up. See, let me tell you something, and I want everybody to understand this. And I'm a no holds bar kind of woman. I am. When you are man enough, when you is woman enough, Tony Prepwinkle, and y'all are mature enough, what somebody is running against you is not a threat. If you got a good plan and you are the best candidate for the job, there is no reason for you to set traps, trickery, manipulate, deceive, and connive to get somebody kicked off the ballot. How does that work? When I'm assured and I'm confident in knowing that I'm a good candidate, and I'm confident in knowing that everything I have done as a commissioner will has prepared me and I'm ready and I'm able to become the mayor, I don't worry about the next man or woman. I don't. It's only when you are not assured of who you are. And when you have lied to people, you have manipulated, you have deceived them, and people know your secrets. And so when you feel like somebody that don't have no ties, that is clean in their background, come along, it's a threat to your place in your position. Just like you work for a company and you decide you come with all this knowledge and the person that's the VP don't have the knowledge that you have. So they find out that you have all that knowledge, then they want to terminate you so they can hold their position. And that's exactly what y'all did to Frederick Collins. That's exactly what you did. You can dress it up how you want to. It don't even matter. The truth is the truth. That's what it is. And I'll say it again. Ain't none of y'all, none of the above, nobody that's left on the list worthy of being the mayor of Chicago. It's just going to be a fluke, whoever gets in office, because none of y'all have the people's intentions at heart. You don't care. Mayor Lightfoot spent 40 million on trees, but you got homeless people living in tent city and up on the viaduct. How does that work? Paul Vallis act like he all of a sudden he's in public safety. You weren't in public safety at first. How does that work? Willie Wilson didn't have no plan either. Y'all full of crap. That's what you are. You're full of crap. And you want the seat not for the people, but you want the seat for power and pull. That's what you want for. That's it. And that's all. Y'all don't care nothing about the people. You don't give a flying fart about the people. You wanted Frederick Collins out of the way because how he spoke, I'm going to call a thing, in that union board gathering when they was interviewing candidates. And you saw that he had some intelligence. And intelligence is very threatening to some. Because, see, they want us to be dumb. They don't want us to know nothing. Not at all. But when you know how to speak and you know how to represent yourself, that's the threat right there. Nobody won't say it. Nobody won't admit it. But I'm going to tell you what it is. He's just a man like the rest of y'all. But I don't call y'all no men. I don't call you no women. Because what y'all did was a punk move. It was a punk move. Yeah. And the Board of Election with some bullies, as well as the hearing officer. Y'all some sad individuals. When any adult has to stoop that low to sabotage somebody intentionally so they would not be in the lineup as a mayoral candidate for Chicago. And what is more disheartening to me is it's always us against us. It's always us against us. We have not yet understood how we have been programmed for us to be against us. We still have that crab in the barrel mentality. Whether you're a Cook County Board president, whether you're a commissioner, mayor, state representative, alderman, congressman, or senator, we as people of color have a crab in the barrel mentality. We spend most of our time pulling each other down instead of saying, okay, I'm running, you running. May the best man or best woman win. Now that's some adult stuff for your ass. That's what it is. That's a mature move right there. But y'all ain't mature because what y'all did was some kids crap. That was kids crap. And your children get a whooping for lying in your face. So you should stop whooping your kids because the mama and the daddies is lying and playing games with somebody else. Y'all should have left that man on the ballot and y'all owe him an apology. And y'all need to fix it because this y'all screw up. But I promise you, I'm going through every page and I'm putting it up so everybody can see. Now I want to see who's going to do something about this. Now this is from the Board of Elections. This is their email. It says Andre Holland did not file a FOIA, but now they're manipulating the rules and the regulations to justify and try to cover up what they did to Frederick Collins. See, that's the cover up. It's a cover up. So you screw up and then you go back and you want to cover up. You want to throw the dirt on top of what you messed up. And you want to try to cover up and fix it by saying you have some adopted rules that don't start until February. The prior rules still stand until the new rules take place. And if they don't take place till February, y'all still was bound legally by the rules of he should have been in there and checked them signatures. That's verification. So in a sense, he lied and you all believed the lie and you went along with the lie. But it's going to get better. So stay tuned. Don't forget, click that subscribe button so you can know when other videos are uploading. Because I'm going to come with some stuff. Because when I tell you, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. We should not have to fight this hard. This is ridiculous and it's nonsense. It's nonsense. And y'all should be ashamed of yourself what you have done. That is so sad. And you can't tell your kids nothing because y'all some pitiful individuals. Bottom line, until we talk again.